Praise God. Bow your heads with me as we open in a word of prayer. Oh God and Heavenly Father, we give you thanks. We give you praise, mighty God. We give you thanks, oh God, Father, for permitting us to be here today. In the name of Jesus, mighty God, we thank you, oh God, Father, for health. We thank you for strength. We thank you, O God, Father, for everyone, O God, who is here today. In the name of Jesus, mighty Father, O God, we just want to glorify you. O God, Father, we ask your blessing, O God, Father, upon this assembly, O God. We pray, O God, mighty Father, that your purpose, O God, Father, for this meeting, O God, would bear fruit. In the name of Jesus, we ask your blessing, O God, Father, upon our Prime Minister, O God, and his team. In the name of Jesus, we ask your blessing, O God, upon our beautiful country. We pray in the name of Jesus that everything that is done here today would be, O God, Father, to promote love, peace, and prosperity. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Let me say a special good evening to you, the residents of Bells, Penrise, Glugome, Pont-Cassé. Those of you who will be joining us later, those of you who are on your way, because you can hear my voice via DBS Radio and also Kyrie FM, and we're also being broadcast live via the internet. So let me say a very special good evening to you, the people of this beautiful community of Bells. Good evening, everyone. Let me also invite those of you who are standing, you can please have a seat. And those of you on the outside, please feel free to come in, because we want to ensure that everyone is safe on the inside as we see it's ready on the outside. This evening, I want to recognize the presence of the Member of Parliament for the Cassibruce constituency and also the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Johnson Drago. Let's give him a hearty welcome this evening. We will also be joined shortly by the Minister of Education and Human Resource Development and the Member of Parliament for the Lapland constituency, the Honorable Peter Sajan, who is on his way. And he has asked me to apologize because he has just ended a function in his constituency, and he should be with us in the next 5 minutes or so, because I spoke to him about half an hour ago. So when he comes, we will in fact welcome him as well. And it is good to be in Bells this evening. And I say that because over the last few months and weeks, the Cabinet of Dominica has engaged itself on a series of town hall meetings in various communities across the country. And we have embarked upon this series of meetings to have a dialogue with our residents and our constituencies to ensure that we can continue to hear from you and to learn from you about how best we can continue to work and represent on your behalf. And this evening, we are in the community of Bells, a community that is very dear to my heart, and a community that I love dearly, because you and I am for being. Very importantly, my dear friends, as it relates to the Bells area, and as it relates also to representing people, it is always important to listen to people. And over the last 7.5 years, since I have been the parliamentary representative for this community, I must say it has been a very inspirational and a very humbling experience for me. Because having to deal with different personalities, having to ensure that we understand the priorities for the Bells community, and also having to work with people, it has given me the opportunity to realize that so much can be done and so much can be achieved once you have a connection with the people. And that is why this evening I'm happy to see so many of you turn out here this evening in spite of the weather that we are having. And the rain is nothing new to Bells, because I heard somebody remark earlier on while I was on the outside that while the rest of Dominica is dry, they have opened the pipe in Bells. So Bells has a lot of rainfall. And it is because of a community like this that we have a very strong and thriving agricultural sector. And I chose to speak about agriculture first because of the number of farmers that we have in this community and the number of families whose livelihoods depend on agriculture here in Bells. And over the years, since I became your power rep, I have ensured that we have provided tremendous support to the farmers here in the community of Bells. One of the first things that I was able to do as your power rep was to ensure that we established a farmers group here in the community. Because I saw it as an avenue, as an artery, that would be able to provide the farmers of this community with the necessary support that you require to enhance the productivity on your farms and to ensure that at the end of the day, you are able to supply the markets with your dasheen, with your bananas and other crops so that you can provide for yourselves and your families. And when this group was initially set up, we provided a grant of $10,000 to this group to get this machinery on the way so that the farmers of this community would be able to see the government working on their behalf. And I must commend people like Christoph, people like Juliana, people like Sweeney, and the others who started out this group in terms of the organization of this group, John and the others, for their efforts, and even today remaining dedicated and committed to this group. And now we have grown further, and we have now established this group into a cooperative. So we now have the Bells Farmers Cooperative. And I can tell you, my dear friends, that there is a lot that we can achieve and we can accomplish through this farming cooperative. Because agriculture continues to play a meaningful role in the development of this country. And that is why the Minister of Agriculture is here for us tonight. And he will speak to you further on some key areas that his ministry and the government of Dominica is making available to the farmers of this country to ensure that we have greater productivity and the farmers can continue to reap more benefits. We've supplied the Farmers Cooperative with fertilizer for the farmers here in Bells, free of charge, to ensure that the farmers here in this community can have their inputs on their farms. And that is something that will continue. And up to Wednesday of this week, Wednesday, that was yesterday, we provided to the Farmers Cooperative an amount of 135 bags of fertilizer for you, the farmers of this community, that will be distributed to you over the next few days. All in an effort to ensure that you can have the necessary inputs to use on your farms. And I recall visiting several farmers over the last few weeks. And these were some of the concerns that they raised with me as a member of parliament, indicating the need for fertilizer and other inputs. And we've made it available to you, and it will be distributed to you so that you can utilize on your farms. But more importantly, my dear friends, we have to continue to see agriculture as a business and not just getting up in the morning and going to your farms. And that is why proper management and proper farm techniques has to be established on the farms. And one of the things I would like to see even more in this community is to see more of our young people involved and engaged in agriculture. Because there is money to make in agriculture. whether you are involved in crops, whether you're involved in animal husbandry, or other aspects of agriculture, there is money to make in agriculture. But we have to continue to take advantage of the opportunities that the government continues to make. And that is why we continue to place emphasis on the facility that we have at the Aid Bank. $10 million being made available to the farmers of this country. And you, the farmers of Bells, can recall that a few months ago, I brought the representatives of the Aid Bank here to speak with you. We had a meeting at the school, and to engage you directly so that you can see how best you are able to tap into the resources that we have provided at the Aid Bank, so that you can go out and there, get the necessary funding, and ensure at the end of the day, you can increase your productivity. You are able to even contribute to farm labor, because farm labor is very critical. And I know some of you, the farmers here, you have acres of dashing. And be having to plant 15,000, 20,000 dashing plants, Christoph will tell you it's a task. So you require the additional labor to boost your farm, and we can provide that assistance for you through the facility at the Aid Bank. And I'm sure when the Minister of Agriculture speaks, he will speak more to that. So farmers, the assistance and the opportunities are there for you. And we will continue to work with you to provide you with the necessary funding that you require. The farm access roads. We understand some of the challenges that you faced in the past. And that is why tremendous emphasis has been placed on the farm roads. And all of us recall after Erica, a number of farmers suffered because they could not have any access to their farms. Just a distance away from where we are having this meeting, a section of the road collapsed. But we could not sit back and do nothing about it. And as your power, I ensured that we were able to cut a new road. And I must say that road is fully completed. It has been well done with proper drains, so that the farmers who have their farms beyond that area now have full access again to their farms. And we engaged local contractors here. All the labor was from Bells. So all of the money that was spent on that road, it remained in the community to ensure that you, the people of this community, could benefit. It is our program, our project. And some farmers have mentioned to me some other additional farm roads that we have to pay some attention to. The road in Stonehill, the Stonehill Road. It's a road that we have to do for the farmers in this community. And as a parent, I give you the assurance that we will do this road for you to ensure that you can have better access to your farms. But while the government is spending these monies to develop farm roads, we also have our part to play in ensuring that we keep these roads in a proper condition so that they do not deteriorate quickly. Because here in Bells, we know that we get a lot of rain, it's heavy rainfall. So if the roads, if the drains are blocked, let us unblock the drains. Because the volume of water that will now go on the roads, what will happen is that it will gradually deteriorate the condition of the roads. And we don't want to see that. So my responsibility as your power rep is to ensure that I fix the roads for you. But you also have an equal responsibility to ensure that we take care of the investment that we've made in the roads. And so we will continue to work diligently to ensure that we can continue to bring across better farm roads for you, the villagers here. And while I'm on the issue of roads, you've seen the project start on the main road in Glugomie, right next to the bus stop. And we are going to do the entire village road for you. And this is a commitment that I've made as a power rep to ensure that the entire village road in Glugomie will be fixed and will be transformed, and we'll have better roads for us to drive on, for us to walk on. And this is not something that will happen. Work has actually begun. You've seen the concrete on the road. Some of you have already walked on it. And over the next few weeks, we will ensure that we complete that project for you. Because it is important. And we spent some monies on various sections of that road in the past, but now we are going to do the entire road. And once again, we have engaged local contractors to ensure that the resources remain in the community so that you, the residents of Bells, can benefit. And we've just spent, just a few months ago, over $1.4 million on the main road, the section above the school. You recall that section of the road was undermined significantly. And commuters going on to the higher section of Bells, Glugome, and even to the airport and onwards to Marigot and Wesley, these communities, they were severely impacted. But in quick time, your government was able to restore that road because we knew and we understood the importance of that road to this community. Not only is it a main transit point to the airport, but this community, with how it is located and how the homes are dispersed, you have to ensure that you have connectivity. Because I recall I got a call because the school bus couldn't pass. And the students had to walk from the school, where the primary school is, as the high school students, all the way up to their homes. Because the school bus couldn't pass. But we were able to restore that road and to spend this money to ensure that you, the people of this community, could have better access. And even when, and Claire is clapping and she must clap, because sometimes we tend to forget that it was this Labour Party government which invested millions of dollars to have this highway from Port Carsey all the way back to Marigot fully transformed and rehabilitated. And you, the people of Bells, Penrice, Port Carsey, Glugome, you know before that it was almost impossible for two vehicles to have passed on that road at the same time. One had to go down in the drain because of how that road was constructed. But because of the vision of our Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, and because of the leadership, we were able to invest to have this entire road rehabilitated, where it is now probably the best highway in the country, passing through Bells. And I recall the opposition in Parliament saying that the government wasted money on that road to spend so much money on this road. But you, the people of Bells, never forgot that. That is why you ensured that you continue to place your trust and confidence in me to represent you. Because I always tell people that even though Bells is in the central part of Dominica, and it's really the heart of the country, but Bells and these communities and these hamlets, they are very important to me. And sometimes I have to say it softly because I don't want the people of St. Joseph to get vexed with me when I say that I love the community of Bells very much, probably even more than St. Joseph. So I have to say it very softly. But whenever I come to Bells, I can feel the love up here, man. And let me just pause to welcome the Honorable Peter Sesha, the Minister of Education. Thank you very much, Minister, for joining us. And we will continue to invest in your roads. And you saw we began the program of the street lights on the main highway. And this will continue. The tenders have already been sent out to continue from where we left out. and we'll continue along the entire highway. Because Bells and this area used to be very dark. Inside Glogome used to be very dark. And you came to me and you said, Parap, we need some street lights. And I ensured that we provided the street lights in every corner that needed street lights, and we can see the difference it has made, particularly when the people had to walk from the bus stop inside of Glogome. And we will continue, the street light program, and I can tell you that we are going to approve an additional 20 street lights to continue to target the areas where we still have some darkness in these areas. So we are going to approve an additional 20 street lights for you in the community of Bells. Because, my dear friends, I have listened to you and understood your concerns. And that is why we continue to make these investments here in this community of Bells. Additionally, and I know some of you have raised concern about it, and that is the area on the highway just below Ilma's shop there, where after Erica, the portion of that wall there was significantly damaged, where we have the drums now on that highway. A very critical part of the road. Very critical part of the road. And I've been advised by the Ministry of Public Works that they are in the process of completing the designs, because you can well understand that a project of this magnitude, it has to be done properly. Because the river is actually flowing directly now into that portion where the wall collapsed. So I've been advised by the Ministry of Public Works that they are reviewing the designs for that road, and pretty soon it will go out for tendering, because it is a major project that will help to restore that section of the road which was significantly compromised after Erica. And so we are working on their behalf, my dear friends. And again, like I said, we'll continue to ensure that in this community we take care of all of the village roads and the street lights where they have to be. I want to also speak in the area of education, because I see we have some of our young people here with us this evening, and the Minister of Education is here. And one of the key areas, my dear friends, that we've continued to provide support for our children is to ensure that they have what is required to go to school. They have all of the stationery, their shoes, their uniforms, whatever is required. And no child in Bells should be denied an education because they don't have a shoe, they don't have a school bag, or they don't have books to go to school. No child in Bells should be denied that privilege, because every child of school age in this community should attend school, whether it's the primary, whether it's the secondary, whether it's the college, because we have made the opportunities available to you. And you know better than I that the issue with school bus transportation is now a thing of the past in Bells. Because the days when our young people and our students used to walk to go to school, under the rain sometimes, Clevo. This government has made an investment to provide transportation to our students to go to school and to ensure that they can get to school on time. And parents, we have to ensure that the roles that we play in the lives of our children towards the advancement of their education, we have to ensure that we play a deeper role. We have to ensure that. Because as the parent, I have done my part. In my discussion with the principal of the school, they made a request for additional assistance, particularly for the slow learners. And I was able to provide them with 2 educational mentors at the school under the National Employment Program to ensure that our students here in Bells can have the opportunities, particularly slow ones, to learn and to get the one-on-one opportunity so that they can enhance them. And we have 2 young ladies from this community of Bells who have been selected and who have been at the school for the last few months, college graduates at the school for the last few months, engaged in mentorship of our students at the primary school. Because education is important. And education continues to be a driving force that will impact and that will continue to mold the lives of our young people. And we have to take the education of our children seriously. So parents, our responsibilities and our roles is a very important one. Because the opportunities that some of us were denied as parents and grandparents, we want to ensure that our children and our grandchildren can have a better life than us. And that is why we have made the sacrifices, and that is why, as the PowerUp, have ensured that we have made provisions for our children at every segment of the sector. And again, some of you have spoken to me directly as a PowerUp. The teachers have raised it with me as well when I visited school. And they have indicated to me the need for additional space. And I can report to you that we will make a commitment to have an additional classroom constructed in Bells for the new school term in September. And the Minister of Education is here, and he will speak more of it to you, because his ministry has received the design from the Ministry of Public Works. And this is an investment towards our young people, our students here in this community. Because we all know this school very well. And sometimes we have grade K and grade 1 assembled together, and sometimes the noise level. And we also want to facilitate the preschool children at that age. And that is why, my dear friends, we are making this commitment. Because I've made a commitment to you that I will have got this done for you, and I'm going to get it done for you. Because that's what you have elected me for. You have elected me to make representation on your behalf. You have elected me to speak on your behalf and to bring your issues to the front, and to ensure at the end of the day, we can get things done in a practical way and in a timely way. That is what it is about. That is what representing people is about, my dear friends. And we will continue to work on your behalf to ensure that we get these things done. And the students of the State College from this community, we have provided them with a transportation grant that they can go to college. We have provided them a transportation grant, and we are also assisting them with their tuition at the State College. Because I do not want to know that I'm the PowerUp of Bells, and a young person who wants to attend the college cannot go because they don't have transportation fees. It shouldn't be in 2017. And I believe no child should be denied an education. No child. And parents, that is where we have to also meet the weight of it to ensure that we play our roles in our part too in bringing our children education to the forefront. And in addition to that, I will also be providing to the school 6 computers to enhance the research and the development skills of our students at the Bells Primary School. Bells used to be an area where the service was very poor. It dropped a lot. You could hardly get service here in this community. What we were able to do through a project through the Ministry of Information Technology was to ensure that we enhance the broadband coverage in this community. And that is why we've seen now a difference in the service that we receive on our cell phones and internet here in this community, because of an investment that the Dominican Labour Party has made to increase the broadband coverage here in this community. Ladies and gentlemen, you recall that sometime in 2014 or thereabout, I made a promise to you that we would bring pipe-borne water to the residents of Port-Cassé, Penrise, Glogomie, Bells, and this promise has been kept. We have invested here in these communities an amount of $4.5 million for the Bells Penrise Port-Cassé water system. This system comprises of two main storage tanks, one with a capacity of 40,000 gallons and another with a capacity of 30,000 gallons. To some degree, we were impacted after Erica, when some of the pipes that were already laid had been washed away. But I can report to you that we have water in the pipes, and we will be providing free connection to the Wasco, to the residents of Bells, Penrise, Port-Cassé. Because you need your water at your homes. And people always say, why is the government investing so much money in a small community? And I always tell them, we are people here in Bells too. And we also need our water at our homes. And this Labour Party government has delivered to you, the people of Bells, a $4.5 million water project here in this community. So Dowasco has told me that the water is in the pipe. So you are ready to get connected, my dear friends. So we'll be providing you with a free water connection for you, the residents of Port-Cassé, Penrise, Bells, Glogomie, a free water connection. And this is important, because while it is true that Bells has a high rainfall and you have a lot of source and little streams flowing, but you also have to look at carefully the safety of the water that you get at your homes. You also have to look at that. And it is this government which has made a commitment to ensure that we have in this country 100% pipe-borne water across this country, in every hamlet, in every community, in every constituency in this country. And this is a commitment that we've made to you. And so, my dear friends, you can go ahead and start your connections. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times we criticize, and it's easy to criticize. But when things are happening and when it's good, let us say it is good. Let us say that. And I must draw reference back to the village road, because I recall a few weeks ago, there were some complaints about the road. But as the parab, I told the people that I was speaking to at the time that it makes no sense to patch the road. It makes no sense. The road is bad. Let us do a proper job. Let's be patient, and let's ensure that we do a proper job. So we have to rip off the entire thing, and we're going to do a new surface, so we'll have a proper road. And sometimes all it takes is a little tolerance, my dear friends, a little patience, and things will happen. Things will happen. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built anyway. So we will build this road and we will complete this road for you, my dear friends. We've also embarked on a very ambitious program to ensure that we can get rid of pit latrines in this country. And this is a program that we've started here in this community of Bells. And already we have begun assisting, and we have assisted 17 families thus far. 17 families thus far. Some have completed, some are nearing completion. And this is good. And I can tell you this evening, my dear friends, that an additional 15 washrooms has been approved for the community of Bells, and we will begin these in the month of May. So an additional 15 families will be receiving the washrooms. And we are doing it on a phase-by-phase basis, because we cannot do everybody at the same time. So if you see your neighbor has received, just know that your turn is next. Just know yours is coming. That's right, Sweeney, it's coming. So we are taking it step by step. And this program is a very important program. Because I always tell people that in 2017, for someone not to have access to a washroom at their home, it's an embarrassing thing. It's an embarrassing thing. Just imagine you have guests coming over and they want to use the washroom. You're going to send them to the bush? The river? This is 2017. And that is why, my dear friends, this Labour Party government will continue to deliver to you, the people of this country and this community. So they can criticize us for this program, but at the end of the day, we listen to you. You are the ones who have elected us. You, the people of Bells, you have elected me, and I have to make representation on your behalf and deliver to you, the people of this community. And I also want to tie it into the housing program as well. We've started some housing repairs in this community, and we've started the construction of some homes here in this community. And we will continue to provide you with the requisite assistance that you need as it relates to your housing repairs and your housing needs here in this community. And we have to do it properly. We have to do it properly, get proper estimates, ensure that every nail is accounted for, so when a job is done, we can see a transformation in the life of the families, and we can see a change from what existed before and what it is now. And so we will continue to provide you that assistance. Another area I want to touch on briefly is that of the Bells playing field. And you, the residents of Bells again, and you recall that you know the story better than I do, that the playing field was in a terrible state. And even while they were constructing the main highway, it was used as a storage facility. And you raised the concern with me as a power rep. Power rep, we want our playing field. But I'm not sure when last month you went there. But I was there on it last week, Thursday. And Andy, it is an amazing field. It is a beautiful field. And a lot of work went into that playing field. A lot of work went into that playing field. But now that we have the playing field, we have to make use of it. We have to make use of it. Because this was one of the priorities that you told me for you here in the community of Bells, the playing field. So I'm asking myself now, why isn't it that every weekend there's a rounders match on the playing field? Why haven't we completed rolling the pitch for cricket? We have plans to do some additional works on the field, but if we say it's a priority for us, and we now have the field, let us utilize the field. The field is large. It's a very large field. I know some of the women, they probably go there and do the exercises, Clevo and the others. You know, but The field is very large, and some communities who be jealous of you, would envy you in Bells, to see that you have such a wonderful playing field. We can have a major rally on that playing field, a major rally. So we have to do the road leading down to the playing field. We'll get that done. And we'll also ensure that through the Ministry of Constituency Empowerment, we also ensure that we have a washroom facility at the field. So when we have activities there, we have a washroom facility right there at the field. And we also will do some further work to have some stands set up with a covering, so in case it rains while you're playing on the field, you have an area for shelter and also for seating and that sort of thing. So I am making this commitment to ensure I will continue to improve on the field and the playing facility, because I believe that recreation plays a very important role in the lives of a people. So we have the field, let us make good use of the field. And I understand there was an activity there for the Easter. The school is just above the field. The students now have this wide area that they can run on and play on without any worries. So please, let us take this opportunity to make ample use of the playing field. I also want to commend the young people that we have engaged under the National Employment Program for the work that they've done in planting of flowers in the community, beautifying the community, and ensuring that we keep the place clean. I want to really commend the young people. And they are also responsible for cutting the grass on the field and maintaining it, very importantly. And you see, the National Employment Program is a very important one, particularly when it impacts on rural communities like Bells. Because you are able to work in your community without having to go elsewhere or out of the community. So you save your money for bus fare right away. That's a plus. The money you'd have to take to pay the bus to go to work, right here in Bells, you work. So you save on bus fare. And you also are contributing in a positive way towards the advancement, the development, and the beautification of your community. And this is something positive. This is something positive, my dear friends. And we'll continue to ensure that we have these young people engaged to continue the program that they've started. And you've also seen that from Port Cassé around the roundabout coming all the way down, we've now engaged a team on the main road to keep the area clean, the grass at a low level. And we have a team from Bells right there managing this thing for us. And I must commend Sonny Luke and his team for doing a tremendous job. I have seen them several times hard at work in maintaining this field, maintaining the road, the main road. Very important job. And I must commend them for that and their efforts. But my dear friends, there is still a lot more that we can do in this community and achieve. But we have to continue to work together. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens in Bells, be it something positive or something negative, it impacts on us, the residents of this community. And I always tell people that I'm just a part for now. But tomorrow morning, it could be someone else. Next year, it could be someone else. In 5 years' time, it could be someone else. In 10 years' time, it could be someone else. We don't know. That's how life is. So you're not doing it for me or you're not hurting me. So we have to ensure that we keep this community clean. So there's no reason why in a community like Bells and the other hamlets that we have to have unsightly garbage by the roadside. There's no reason for that. Most of what we consume in Bells, the foods that we consume, we can do our composting in our yards. And the other stuff, when the garbage truck comes, it can go with it. If we know what days the truck is coming, we know what days the truck is coming, there's no need to put out our garbage by the roadside when we know the truck is coming that day. So equally, we have a responsibility to ensure that we keep this community clean. And we play our part, my dear friends. Because these little hamlets, Bells, Penrice, Pokasi, they belong to all of us. All of us. Small business development, we've received from some of the persons who have applied for assistance. And I know there are some more that we have to assist. And we'll be making available some assistance available to boost, to enhance, and to also develop small businesses here in this community of Bells. So you'll be receiving that assistance, my dear friends. Because a lot of the ideas that we have and a lot of emerging businesses that may not exist in Bells, I think we can explore them and to see how best we are able to capture the number of people who traverse this area. Because this is the main road to the airport. So on a daily basis, we have quite an inflow of traffic going to and fro. And I believe we have some bright ideas that we are able to if we are able to capitalize on, we can make a lot of money in this community. A lot of money. So it's important to identify skill sets that we are lacking in the community. And we'll provide the necessary training so that we can have these skill sets right here in this community of Bells. Cosmetology, even one of the areas we can look at. Plumbing. Do we have these skill sets here? We can train our young people in these areas so that they, in turn, when they are properly trained, they are able to utilize that skill right here in this community. And we'll give them the assistance that they need. So making money in this community will be a joy. It will be a joy because you are well located here in Bells. You have the resources, the natural resources here. And we'll continue to work along with you as we continue to develop yourselves and your families. And the last area I want to touch on is we'll be also embarking on some work on the Spani Falls area. It's one of the areas where the tourists come to, and a lot of locals as well. They traverse the Spani Falls to look at the beautiful falls that we have here. We have done some work in the past, and through the Ministry of Tourism, we will engage one of our local contractors to do some additional works on the road leading to the Spani Falls, as well as to ensure that we have proper railings so that those who access the Spani Falls, they can be safe. And this is something that we have to do for you, the residents of Bells. I can also tell you that we still have a vision to have our own resource and community center here in Bells. In fact, we have visited the area. We have already identified the portion of land right at the back of the school. And we are now waiting on the Ministry of Public Works to provide us with the details for the designs for that resource center and community center for Bells. Because really and truly, we need it in the community. We need a facility where we can have our meetings, have activities. And if we are outside and it rains, we know that we are properly secured and sheltered. Because if you're having a dance for Fed Bells, you can't come in the church. Or the building is too small, you can go in the schoolyard. And as I said that, I want to thank the organizers for this year's Fed Bells. Noreen, Nora, I see my friends at the back outside there, Andy, for your efforts, because this year was one of the greatest fetes that Bells had. And I can tell you that since I became power rep, first time you saw a song system like that come up to Bells. So my dear friends, I will continue to remain your humble servant, and I'll continue to make representation on your behalf, and to make myself available to ensure that we can continue to communicate and we can continue to work together for the advancement of these hamlets, these communities. Because here in Bells, Penrise, Ponkasi, Glogome, all of these areas, I believe we can achieve a lot. But it's going to take hard work and determination. That is how we are going to achieve our goals. And again, I continue to remain a humble servant, and I'm here for you, to listen to you, Mr. Blaise, to ensure that your needs are met here in this community, and to ensure that together we can take Bells to new heights and new levels. And so I want to thank you very much for listening to me this evening. Thank you, my dear friends. The intention is not to keep you too long tonight because we know it's of the way.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Kelvin Darrow, your humble parliamentary representative. Let me recognize in a very special way my colleague and friend, the Honorable Peter Sensha, Member of Parliament for the La Plaine constituency, and also the Minister of Education and Human Resource Development. I former principal of the Bells Primary School.
Yes, that's right.
Beautiful. I also want to recognize in a very special way you, the good people of Bells. I remember vividly the last time I came to Bells, you were officially launching your cooperative, and I'm happy to be back with you again here in Bells tonight. When Kelvin told me that I'm one of the ministers he would like to join him, I knew how fitting it was that I make some time to be here tonight, and I'm happy to be here. I also want to recognize in a very special way the media who is with us, and to say a special good evening to our listeners on radio. And I want to also recognize my own constituents in the Casablanca constituency who is listening. Normally, I would have been involved in some Thursday evening activity in my constituency, but I'm not yet there this evening, so I just want to shout out the entire Casablanca constituency tonight. My dear people of Bells, let me first of all congratulate you and thank you in your effort at keeping the agricultural sector going. And I want you to put your hands together for yourselves. Because while in some circles they are saying agriculture dead, you continue to work hard, organizing yourselves, forming yourself first of all into a solid farmers group. Then you move to a cooperative. You manage your own affairs. Your parent makes fertilizer available to you and other supplies. You distribute it among yourselves, you sell it among yourselves, you do for the purchasing. But most importantly, you are the pillar in supporting discussing the pack house and go through the pack houses. I know you continue to supply to the hucksters. But one of the markets we went back into recently through Windfresh, most of the dashing we've been sending to the UK market through the pack houses are big dashing, 3 to 7 pounds. Most of it has been coming from you, the hard-working farmers of Bells. And we've been able to send a 20-foot container every fortnight. So this is remarkable, and I want to congratulate you on your effort at ensuring that this market in the UK is maintained. So tonight I'm here to share with you on the government's incentive in supporting your hard work and your effort. And of course, I may be repeating myself because some of the things I have said it in other communities. But tonight it's Bell's turn. We are here with you, the people of Bells, and you need to know exactly some of the facilities that are available for you. And the first facility I want to speak of is the $10 million facility established at the Aid Bank on lending to farmers across the island to increase production and but more so to assist farmers in some of the tasks, the difficult tasks they encounter in farming. Some of the things that I'm going to say to you tonight will require you considering expanding your holdings. And to do that, you need funds. And one of the challenges that we face in Dominica is the whole question of labor. It's very, very expensive. And if you do not have the upfront cash to pay people to work for you, you can find yourselves in some serious difficulty in the farming, especially for those of you who has been farming for all of these years. Some of you 40 years in the farming business, you're not as strong as you used to be, and now you are prepared to really pay some persons to assist you in the farm labor. And so we've created this facility at the Aid Bank. And one of the areas that is of importance to you, the farmer of Bells, is that it's in category. From the first 1,000 to 15,000, you do not need no collateral to access the funds. Of course, it's a bank, and they will be asking you questions and requesting certain requirements because you are accessing a soft loan. So therefore, the banks need to ensure that in truth and in fact, you are a serious farmer. So they will ask you to go to your extension officer and bring in a report on your farming history, demonstrating that you have been a farmer over the years and this is your acreage, this is the area of your market, these are the persons you've been selling to, and so on, to justify your claim and so on. And I know some farmers, they've gotten impatient with the fact that the bank would say to them that you must go back and get more information. And some of the farmers, they have abandoned seeking the loans. But while this is happening, other persons are benefiting. And I can say to you tonight, you the farmers of Bells, in the area where you would be most interested in accessing these funds, which is for farm development, getting some funds to pay your labor and to buy your additional fertilizer, to even buy the concessionary price that you have for your cooperative, where you need some money for that, and to probably buy some chemical for spraying the land and paying off the labor. In that area, some $649,000 have been disbursed to farmers who have accessed the facility at the Aid Bank. Well over $500,000 has been disbursed thus far. So for those of you who are afraid of going to the bank and believing that if you go to the bank, you will not get the loan, not at all. This is not the bank's money. This is a facility created by your government for you, which the bank is managing. It is for farmers. So therefore, I urge you to go to the bank and start negotiating on your soft loan. And it's between 1 and 15. You could start at that level, 1 and 15,000. And for you, the major commercial dashing farmers that we have in this area, and banana farmers too, if you were to request between 15,000 and 30,000, you only need one guarantor. You would need somebody to come with you if you do not have your own security. And in most cases, some of you own your own lands, you have your city title and so on, so you'll be able to manage yourselves. But in areas where you may be working on family land and so on. You're going to be needing at least one shot if you're going to be needing 30,000, between 15 and 30,000. But the facility is there. Farmers are accessing it. Farmers are benefiting from it. And Bells farmers must benefit from it too. Some $1.3 million has already been disbursed. So it means there is still some $7 million plus available for farmers. And therefore, you, the hardworking farmers of Bells, it's for you too. And I want to also send a message to the young people who are thinking of going into agriculture, thinking of going into dashing, and they do not have the funds, startup funds and so on. Apart from all of the support that we are giving for the small business, we are willing to work with you, young upcoming farmers, to ensure that you benefit from this facility as well. But you must demonstrate a level of seriousness. You must demonstrate that you are ready to work hard and that you are going into this thing as a business. Not that you're going to get some funds and as soon as you get it, you pay your passage and you disappear. The facilities in the past, like the AIU, Agricultural Investment Unit, we've suffered under these conditions before where persons benefited and they just disappeared. But we're ready to work with young farmers because, my dear people, there is a high demand for fresh agricultural produce from Dominica. Dominica is still the #1 agriculture producing country in the entire OECS. No other country, not St. Lucia, not Grenada, not St. Vincent, can reach the standard, the quality, the taste, the texture of the produce that comes out of Dominica. And it is a fact. The Minister of Agriculture from St. Vincent was here last week. We met on Friday, because I will share with you an initiative we're looking at. And he went to the market on Friday. And he took pictures and pictures and pictures and sent them back to St. Vincent. He said, Mr. Drago, I haven't seen that anywhere else. The quality of the carrot, the quality of the tomatoes, the quality of the yams, the size of the tanya, the size of the watermelon, the size of the pumpkin, you just name it. And the market was a beautiful sight for him. Because in these countries, quite a number of the agricultural produce must be imported. Where in Dominica, you have been able to ensure food security. To get a license to import a particular vegetable here, it must be in short supply. And then the quarantine department will issue a license. But generally, when it comes to the agricultural products that we consume, 98% of it is grown locally. And you are part of this hard work and so on, my dear people. So do not be frightened by persons who say to you, agriculture is dying and agriculture is dead. I am strengthened by people like you that agriculture is alive and we are moving forward. And so I will continue to go throughout Dominica, in every corner of this country, and give the farmers the motivation that they need. That we, the government, we are behind them. And all of the investment we are doing in agriculture is to support our hardworking farmers. And therefore, we will not stop. We will continue to support you, the farmers of Bells. So I want to urge you, my dear people, to go to the aid bank, go to your extension officers, and take advantage of the markets out there. However, the market demands certain quality. As I said to you a while ago, the British market demands dashing of 3 to 7 pounds. Other markets are asking for 2 to 5 pounds. I need you, the farmer, to know your market. Know who you are producing for, the market that you're producing for, so that when your crops are ready for export, you will have much less rejects. I have known of farmers who have been producing dashing for Dexia, and when they arrive with the dashing, Dexia rejects a number of it, stating that it is either too small or whatever the case may be, and so on, and all of those challenges. You have to know your market so that you will produce for your market. I need you to work closer with your hucksters. Gone are the days when hucksters would just come and just buy from the roadside bags packed and tied. You need to know that you are doing an acre and a half of dashing, but these are the 3 persons who are going to buy from me when my dashing is ready. Because there are buyers all over the place, there are hucksters all over the place. So you have to work with your huckster, work with your buyer to ensure that your market is secured so that the investment that you are making, it's not going to lose. Even with Dexia, you have to engage Dexia and sign contracts with Dexia. Dexia is not the one that you used to know before, because I can tell you, farmers have shared with me some of the experiences with Dexia, and they said it has not been too pleasurable. But now you can enter into a contract with Dexia to supply for the pack houses, both in Portsmouth and in Roseau, because some of the exporters are not coming to you anymore. They go straight to the pack house in Portsmouth, and they put an order for, if it's 5,000 pounds of yams and 10,000 pounds of yams and 20,000 pounds of dashing. They go straight to the pack house, and the pack house source the produce for them. And so if you have a contract with Dexia, you are more likely to be the first to be called for this produce when the demands are there. But I want you to know exactly who you are farming for, especially if you're farming on a large scale, the scale that will bring you the income you need to sustain yourselves and your family. If you are only farming for the Roseau market, which is okay, because you're farming for food security, you do not need to know who your market is, because you're going to the market and you know the food persons that you're selling to. But anytime you're thinking of commercial farming, it's important to know where the market is so that you know that you're getting the support. We will continue to support you. We will continue to support the farmers group through your PALREP. Make no mistake, this will continue. But we need you to help yourself. Another thing that I want to say to you, the farmers, tonight, is that you have to see agriculture as a business. You have to approach agriculture as the main source of your income to maintain yourselves and your family. So therefore, it's not because you are your own supervisor that you should continue to cheat yourself. When a farmer goes to garden and he only spends 2 hours, he's actually robbing himself of a day's work, because he's working for himself. He's self-employed. It's like going to work at one of the business places and giving them 2 hours work for a day's work. You would be cheating them at that time. But if you're going for only 2 hours on your farm, you are actually cheating your own self. So we want you to put a proper day's work in the farm, like you used to do before. Growing up as a child, every farm had a fireside. You don't have to have a fireside today. You can cook from home and work with your meals. But you have to stop and take your lunch break on your farm. You have to stop. If you go to the farm early, you have to go with your breakfast. And stop and take 15 minutes for your breakfast, because you're already in your farm early. Doesn't make sense go up to the farm with nothing to eat, and before it's 9 o'clock, you have to go back home. And then for the rest of the day, you are on the block. And this is your livelihood. It means that all you will be able to do is just sell a couple little bags every now and then. And do you know what is interesting? Some farmers, after they have sold the 2 bags from the crop that they planted, they have to wait till another time again, to go and start and plant over. You have to program yourself. You have to plant at stages. If it's every month and a half, you plant in a percentage. So you need to always have crops. As a matter of fact, farmers of Bells, the weather now is so favorable for you, because we have these intermittent showers, regular showers coming down. That's so good for dashing. You must see my own dashing. I'm so happy about the rain that's coming down. I don't want too much rain, because it affects all of us if it's too much rain and we have floods. But in the manner in which the rain is falling now, it's perfect for dashing. So you, the farmer of Bells, you must feel motivated that we have not seen the drought that we are accustomed to. So this is the time to plant. And now that the piece that you have is in its 4th month, you must be thinking of an additional piece of dashing. So that after you harvested what you have coming in crop in 6 and 7 months, you're on your way again. And let me tell you something, Bells will continue to be the center of providing dashing for the export market. So I want you, the farmers of Bells, to do better. Work with your extension officers. Invite them to your farms. And plant other things as much as you can, considering the weather that you have here. So you will have a variety of crops for you to sell, for you to make money. Because there is money to be made in agriculture. The pack house want yams, they want tanya, they want dashing, they want Christophine, they want cucumbers, they want, you just name it. People are making the request. And why are they making the request at the pack house? That's because we are trying to send quality products out there. So therefore, we want the most of the produce that we send out to go through the pack houses so that it could be washed and processed and properly packed with the adequate weight in each box going to specific markets. One of the days when we could just send bags out because we have competition out there. We have competition. The Dominican Republic, they're now sending a lot of the agricultural produce to the islands which were our markets in the north. I'm talking about the islands of Antigua and Tortola and US Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands and so on. So we have competition out there. We have to send quality. And when it comes to dashing, if you, the Bells farmers, fail, the dashing market also fails. Because most of the dashing quality that we are sending is coming from you, the farmers of Bells. So I want you to remember that. So work with your extension and work with your pack houses and your exporters, and let us do very well in dashing. Let's continue to do very well in dashing. Your minister spoke about the fertilizers that we've been able to give you over the years, and we'll continue to make more available to you whenever we have fertilizers, especially to your cooperative, because we know the importance of you having fertilizer. One of the things we're trying to do in the ministry and in the government is to assist you with fertilizers so that it will cut down on your production cost. If you get the fertilizer at a cheaper price, it naturally cut down on your cost of production. Some of the markets that we are looking at going forward may be offering cheaper than the traditional source markets that you've known out there. But because we're looking at going into contract and securing steady markets for you, it will cushion, and because we intend to continue to assist you with fertilizers and other supplies, it will cushion your cost of production, and therefore you will be able to still make a comfortable living in some of the new markets that we are looking at. And one of the markets that we're looking at, for dashing in particular, as I was saying to you, last Friday, the Minister of Agriculture from St. Vincent and some of the exporters of St. Vincent and an OECS representative, they were in Dominica, and they were discussing a joint venture where we, as a region, OECS region, can take advantage of the very large dashing market in the United States. The intention is to export 6 40-foot containers fortnightly to the United States. This is what we are looking at now as we speak. Now, this is apart from the British market that you are now supplying, and all of the hucksters that we are supplying for Guadeloupe and Martinique and the region. In addition to that, we now have an opportunity where very soon Dominica, for its quota, may be needing to produce some at least 3 40-foot container of dashing at least fortnightly to be sent not to the market that we are accustomed with, but to be sent to the United States market through a joint OECS venture. And the OECS, they have recognized that if we are to take advantage of this market and we are not to lose this market, Dominica would have to be the main supplier of dashing for that market. And so the Prime Minister has already made it clear that the government will support this initiative. For those of you who may have looked on your televisions and listened to the radio, you must have heard that we are asking all dashing farmers on the island to register with the extension officers, register at the gardens, register, you just name it, register with Dexia, because we want to know exactly all of the dashing farmers we have on the island. We want to know exactly what you have in plantation presently. We want to know your capacity for expansion, because, my dear people, we have lost too many markets in the past where persons come, we establish markets, we supply them for a month or two, and then after a month or two, we cannot supply. If we are going to supply at least 3 to 4 40-foot containers of dashing fortnightly, my dear people, we have to have production. And persons have to be organized and they have to be working for these markets specifically. Now, for you in Bells, all of the markets that you're currently supplying, they are important for the export market. We will be asking you to do additional acreage to meet these new markets that we're referring to. And so I want you, the farmers of Bells, to get yourselves ready. I want you to register for these discussions that we will have. We will come up here to meet you, the Ministry of Agriculture and Dexia and the Ministry of Trade. I want you to know that the Ministry of Trade, Dexia and the Ministry of Agriculture, we are working collaboratively on all aspects of agriculture, and this is to ensure that our farmers make a comfortable living out of the hard labor. So please register. You can even give your names to your part rep too, which we will take down to the ministry so that we could add it to the list that we're going to be having, so that when we will come back to meet you to discuss the U.S. market initiative. And you want is also interested? This market is also asking for the Callaloo dashing. So it means that when you are harvesting, if you are making 40 bags for that market, all of the Callaloo, cheddar-shin, let's put it that way, all of the cheddar-shin, there is a way of vacuum packing the cheddar-shin for the export market as well. So you will have a market for your cheddar-shin now, and not just stay in the farm. So this is something good, and my dear people, let's get ready for it. But the first thing you have to do for us is to register. The U.S. market is also looking at, as I said, they're looking at yams, callaloo, pumpkins, ginger, at least to start with. These are some of the crops that we could send through this new initiative. So we will be back discussing with you, Bells, because you are the maker of dashing, to see how we can support you. We have to continue to secure niche markets, and we have to sustain it. And as I was saying earlier on, one of the things that I want you, the farmers, to fight, because it's a challenge for you, is the bad habit of selling your produce that you have been working hard at for a particular market for somebody who comes in for a little 25 cents more. And this has affected our agriculture significantly in Dominica. The farmer goes into a program, pardon me? The farmer goes into a program for a particular market, the market is secured, we say we will supply 1 container every month. When the crops are ready, somebody pass, some pirate I call them, and they offer 25 cents more, and the farmer sells 10 cents too, sometimes. The farmer sells the produce to the person with the little 10 cents more, and they destroy a secured market. If you are being contracted, you've been given incentives, you're getting fertilizer, you may be getting Gromboxone to help you spray, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Please, let us secure the markets when we have them. Because of this, from time to time, we have glut on the market. The huckster comes here for a particular dashing, and he gets it at a particular price. When it is scarce, he pay you almost anything for it. If he is packing in Portsmouth, and he can get it closer when it is scarce, when it is in abundance, you don't come all the way to Bells anymore, you know, because he's getting it closer. He hasn't got to pay transportation, so he will buy it closer. I've seen it with my ginger farmers of Good Hope. When there is ginger on the north, the oxers do not come as far as Good Hope for dashing because it's too costly. But if you had kept with this market where you have an agreement with that person, there is no way you can say there's ginger up there in Penville and he's not going to Good Hope to get your ginger because you have an agreement with him. He has to come and get it. And this is how we have to see farming. You, the farmer, too, have to get very serious too, even with the hucksters and the other exporters, and let them know that, yes, I have this stuff, but initially I had an agreement with this buyer, and therefore I must supply this buyer. This is the terms of the contract that you're going into. And this is the agriculture that we're talking about today. Agriculture is serious business. And as I said before, we'll continue to assist you, the farmers, through thick and thin. We will give you fertilizers, we will help with the market, and we will support you. So I look forward to coming back to Bells very soon, because I want us to give the hardworking Bells farmers, especially all of these women I'm seeing here tonight, and I know hard you working, cleaning the dashing, and even planting too and pulling your loose shirt like everybody else. So we have to continue to give you that support. But rest assured, my dear people, nothing is lost in agriculture. Agriculture is getting better, as a matter of fact. There is more investment in agriculture. There, apart from the loans that we have made available to you, there we have shipping arrangements. Government has made funds available to assist boat owners in retrofitting their boats to ensure that they meet the requirements for entering into the different markets. So we have the global gap standards that we have to meet to enter certain markets, and we will continue to work with you. But I am satisfied that you, the best Bells farmers, are not distracted by the notion that agriculture is dead. And that's why there's so much dashing in Bells. You continue to make your livelihood out of agriculture. I want to send a clear message to all of the farmers listening to me out there, that you must take agriculture serious. If you are a farmer, be a serious farmer and take advantage of all of the opportunities, and don't be distracted by all of the noise out there. There are persons every week talking about agriculture dead. And these same persons, they are creating export market for themselves to bring out at 8:30, they're on the radio criticizing the sector, agriculture is dead, and by 10:30, they're out in the field collecting their supply for export. So don't be fooled, agriculture is alive. And we welcome exporters. We need more persons to come and get involved in the export markets. Just meet the standard that we are requesting. I saw recently some boxes going out and they were bulging out. We don't want that anymore, living in Dominica. So we have to take action to protect you, the farmer, out in the field, if it's the exporters who are lapsing in some areas. But for sure, our commitment to the sector, the government commitment to the sector, is clearly demonstrated by all of the investment that we have made, Finally, I heard your minister spoke of Stone Hill Feeder Road. As you must have heard, we are spending some $23 million in rehabilitating feeder roads through the BAM program. That's EU-funded feeder roads. And the Prime Minister, in his wisdom, took a decision that since this $23 million is only going to cover some 10 feeder roads, he had to make additional funds available so we could assist you, the farmers who are not captured under this $23 million facility. And so, before year end, very, very soon, we'll be investing an additional $10 million into feeder road. And rest assured, your Stone Hill feeder road will be one of the feeder roads that will be rehabilitated. And as we say to farmers, today we were in Salisbury, and they were giving several reasons why some of them think that they are not to assist in maintaining feeder roads. But we met a couple of persons who has been working very hard in assisting in maintaining the feeder roads. That was very encouraging. We want to say to you, the farmers of Bells as well, when we build these feeder roads for you, do not expect us to come and keep and maintain it. Do not expect your parent to come and clear a coconut branch from the drain, or a branch of a tree, and so on. You know what's interesting? And it is sad but true. Some farmers, they are spraying their garden, and there is only 5 inches space between their garden and the road. And you know they will not spray that 5 inches of grass. Are you with me, people? That's your farm. You have to maintain the entire market and keep it clean and nice and beautify your farm. You are bringing in pests and diseases by keeping the grass on the edge of your farm. So therefore you're not affecting us, you are affecting yourselves. Because when these roads are compromised, is when we have the money we can help you. And you are the ones going through the struggle or having to drive and mash up your little jeeps and vans in this bad road. Only because of your own carelessness, you did not move a branch in the drain. So farmers, this is your livelihood. Take charge. Thank you very much, my dear people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Drago. And I saw the farmers here tonight. They were listening attentively because the minister really expounded on several points, I believe, that will assist you in only in improving yourselves, but also improving your productivity on your farms. I was listening at the table and I was looking at the beautiful flowers that we have here, floral decoration. And I want to thank Ilma for this beautiful floral arrangement. It has really added a lot of life to the table. And for those of you listening to my voice via the radio, if you want flowers for your weddings, your funerals, whatever occasion, come to Bells and check Ilma, and she provides you with these flowers. Moving along, I want to now invite the Member of Parliament for the Lapling constituency, our Minister of Education and Human Resource Development, the Honorable Peter Seja, to address you this evening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kelva Daru, Parliamentary Representative for the Bells area. Let me recognize, of course, my colleague, parliamentarian and minister, Honorable Daru. I wish also to recognize Honorable Johnson Drago, a very hard-working Minister for Agriculture. I wish to thank you, the people of Bells, Glogomye, for inviting me through your PALREP to be here with you. I'm always honored to be in Bells. In fact, without any fear of contradiction, I always say that Bells is my second home. And of course, you know why. Let me begin by saying to you that Honorable Kelva Darrow happens to be a young man who knows what he wants. He goes diligently after it, and until such time that he has found it, Kelva will not give up. And I give you every assurance that your pal rep, Kelva Darrow, is worthy of the hire. Kelva Darrow has demonstrated in a very, very big way that he's committed to the people of the St. Joseph constituency, including you, the people of Bells Glogomye. I recall the days when, as principal of the Bells Primary School, I was not too familiar with the area. Of course, I knew Bells, but Glogomye was sort of not an area that many frequented. In fact, I recall coming to the Bells Primary School, and people sort of got me scared of going to with you, the people of Bells. And I recall the days when, you know, people like John and Sonny, Vida and Kimi and Eileen transform the Bells Primary School. I recall clearly my stay here was not a very long one, but I will recall it was January of 2004, the last days that I served here as principal. Commenced in 2003, and in January of 2004, when the good people of Bells decided to take the law into their hands, because they did not want me to leave the Bells School. Honorable Kelva, from that day, I've had every respect for the people of Bells, because I recognized then that you know what you want, and if you want it, nobody's going to take it from you. But I'm honored to be here with you tonight, and to join your pal rep, and to say to you, the people of the Bells area, that the government of Dominica, the Dominica Labour Party administration, understands what it is for individuals to work hard to earn a living, for individuals to sweat in order to send their children to school to gain quality education, the challenges that you face. And I'll tell you this, while generally the topography of Dominica does not lend itself to agriculture, if there is a community where the topography makes it doubly difficult, it is here in the Bells area. Yet, you have distinguished yourself, and I'm saying that after the Minister for Agriculture, who is in a position of command. You have distinguished yourselves as one of the communities where, despite your challenges, you have stood fast in agricultural production, ensuring that you earn a livelihood not just for yourselves, but for your children. And it is important to know that, because as far as education and agriculture are concerned, most of the communities in Dominica depend on agriculture, the rural communities. And of course, historically, rural communities have been left behind as far as education is concerned. But over the recent past, we have seen the people of Bells, the people of the Bells Glogomie area moved from an era where the children had to stay on the farm to assist. And now you recognize that agriculture has become a productive industry, an increasingly productive sector in Dominica. But not every child born in Bells, born in Glogomie, should be destined to remain on the farm. And for those who remain on the farm, they ought to be productive farmers who see farming as a viable business that can generate serious income. Because farming has money, as the minister told you. But going beyond that, you have carved for yourself here in Bells, and we need to remind the people of Dominica that these good people in Bells were really farmers who came, and as my comrade friend said, they would have their little jupa, but then realizing the distance that they had to travel, eventually a community sprouted here, and you have made good your own livelihood within Bells. Importantly for us is the fact that the generation, your children, the generation that is upcoming, must understand that not everyone will be a farmer. And I want to commend you, the farmers of Bells, because from the information coming out here tonight, in 2010, you formed the farmers group. But you, the good people of Bells, Glogomie, have demonstrated that you can move just beyond a mere farmers group as exists in most of the areas in La Plaine, Daly's, Boudica, and Castlebruce and Good Hope. And you have been able to organize yourselves into a cooperative so that today you are a registered cooperative, and you must be commended for that. Because this speaks, first of all, to the level of organization that exists within this community. And secondly, it speaks to the kind of leadership that is resident here. So today you have a cooperative where you have a treasurer, you have your president, and who knows, pretty soon you may have somebody to manage the business. It means, therefore, that the young people of Bells, Glogomie, the children of this area, must recognize, therefore, the need to be well educated. And you heard your pan rep articulate very clearly. Because today, as we speak, there are a number of countries around the world where children still do not have the opportunity to attend an institution of education, to go to school. But we have come from a situation where a few years ago, most of our children were not, to an era where today, here in Bells, every boy and girl, every young person is at an educational institution, be it primary, secondary, or tertiary. At the primary level, and I recall the days when I was principal of Bells School, you will bear me out on that. In those days we had, I don't remember the gentleman's name with that little white bus, who would transport the children of Penrice and Glogomie to the Bells School. And we made a contribution, you made a contribution of $1. And you will recall the days when the children of Penrice and Glogomie had to get to Bells School, and thank God for good people like Renata. We run a school feeding program at the school, and I know she's still involved in the community. But friends, today, recognizing the challenges that confront rural people in Dominica and the good people of Bells and Glogomie, your government has ensured that the children don't have to walk all the way from Penrice and Glogomie to the Bells School, but we have ensured that the 44 students who are registered at the Bells Primary School we provide transportation, free transportation, 5 days a week, 4 weeks in every month, and 10 school months every year, because we understand the challenges of you, the good people of this area. In addition to that, we ensure that the 38 students who attend secondary school here in Belz-Glogomie, we understand the challenges that you face, and that on a daily basis, you had to pay transportation to get them into high school in Roseau. But one of the areas in Dominica with the most challenges, although for transportation, although you have a constant flow of traffic through Belz, you had serious challenges getting your children into high school. And I remember meeting them along the road, trying to hitch a ride, as you say, bum a ride to get to high school. And the government recognized your difficulties, the challenges that you faced. And so we organized bus transportation. We have one of the large yellow buses, and I think John is the driver. I don't see my good friend John here tonight. Oh, he's right there. Very faithful bus driver. In fact, if we had conscientious bus drivers like John all over Dominica, my ministry would be a lot better off financially. But ladies and gentlemen, the reality is we recognize the challenges that your children face, and we put in this bus so that today your children do not have along the road, they can ensure that they do their assignments and do well. This is what good governance is all about. Ensuring that you take care of the needs of the people. And you will recall Vince Henderson, His Excellency Vince Henderson, as your Minister for Education for the people. Serious challenges, but thank God we got one just, or maybe better, just like, or better than Vince. I'm not sure, you tell me. In fact, many times when my daughter listens to him speaking, she says, oh, but I thought it was Vince. Your pal Rebbe here tonight, who has continued the legacy that was set by the former Minister for Education. Friends, that is not all, because while we create access and we ensure that your children can get to school safely and get back home in time rather than get back in the night hours, hitchhiking rides, and heaven knows who is the chauffeur who stops to pick them up on the way. And people tend to forget that. But you remember the times when you would sit at home and wonder, where was Jasmine? Eileen, you remember that? And you would wonder, where was your little boy? Today, your children can get home, and John and the attendant ensure that they get home on time, and all our children have to do is do their work at school, study, learn, and succeed. That is what you elected your parliamentary representative to do for you, the people of Belz-Glogomie. But friends, importantly, your government recognizes that we have a responsibility. Over the years, I'm well aware that you have chided and you have groaned and cried about the size of your school, and your pal rep has been incessant in his visits to the Ministry of Education and his pleas to the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of Dominica for us to expand the Belz School. Of course, I understand your challenge. Let me just advise you that, like your pal rep said, come this year, your early childhood facility shall be built by the government of Dominica. Now, while we recognize, we understand that it's a relatively small community, and you know, sometimes you have to balance the investment against the population, we have taken a conscious decision that your early childhood facility shall be built in this new financial year. Because fundamentally, in order to have a solid foundation, in order to have quality education at the primary and secondary and tertiary level, preschool level, early childhood level. And of course, your Parliament consistently cries about the parents of Bells, Glogomye, having to take those little ones, and of course, we do not subscribe to that. The little ones all the way into Roseau. I believe it puts your children under a lot of stress and they are not able to do well. So of course, we have made accommodation at your school. Build a state childhood facility in Bells with the appropriate furniture and fittings, with a restroom, sick bay, and ensure that your children can access early childhood in grand style. Now, I remember very clearly when I was at Bells that every time it rained, and of course, that's the order of the day here, rain, that every time it rained, the water system that you had across the road where we were able to access water for the school. What was Kimmy's boyfriend? And we had to get John and Sonny to go up the hill, and Andy, and I had my good friend Papa, who was always very faithful, to go and unblock the pipes up there so we could get water at your school. Now, we must not forget those days. Today, because of an understanding and caring government, we have invested in excess of $4 million in a new water supply for you, the people of Bells, Glogomye, Penrise, and the Pokase. So that gone are the days when once a shower of rain fell, the pipe was blocked and there was no water at the school. In fact, I remember too very clearly that most of the people in the Bells area would actually collect water at the school. But let me say to you, we understand your challenges. We understand the difficulties that you go through. And that is why not only will we provide you with the necessary support to ensure that your children do well at early childhood and at primary and secondary, but I want to call upon you, the young people of the Bells Glogomye area, to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Your Parliament has been very aggressive. In fact, I have much difficulty with some Parliaments who they make the Ministry of Education their abode. That's where they live. And Honorable Kelva Daru, Kelva is one of the Parliaments who consistently ensures that he seeks out opportunities for the young people of his constituency. Well, not just limited to Bells and Glogomye. And I'm referring here to young people going out to study at the various programs at the different universities, be it here in Dominica, at UWI or BTC online, or the programs that we offer Venezuela, in the United States, in Europe, in Morocco, in the People's Republic of China. Honorable Kelva always ensures that somebody from the St. Joseph constituency benefits from these programs. I want to say to you, the young people, please take advantage of the opportunities that are created for you. Not only the scholarship programs, but within the Ministry of Education, we offer young people the opportunity to access loans, soft loans, at 2%. Now, the minister speaks of a 3% loan. and the people in tourism are being offered loans at 3%. But Mr. Minister, in education, we offer our young people loans at 2% interest, and there is nothing better than that. So a young person who wants to go to study and did not benefit from maybe the Venezuela or China or Moroccan scholarship program, did not go to Cuba, could not make it to Cuba, you can access a loan of up to $50,000 through a facility created by your government through the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Aid Bank at just 2%. And at that, you do not need a certificate of title. So please, I call on you to ensure that you access those facilities to ensure that your children do well. Because importantly, if Bells is to be transformed, if the economy of Glogomye is to take off, we need not just the farmers planting, but as the minister said, we need farmers to adopt a business-like approach. We need educated people with university degrees. Yes, university degrees to get into agricultural production, use the technology that is available in agriculture, and do for themselves and their families what the doctor or the policeman or the parliamentary representative is doing. So friends, importantly, take advantage of the programs. And I give you the firm commitment that the government of which I am part, the Prime Minister, with whom or under whom I have the pleasure to serve, we are committed to the development of our people, Bells Glogomye included. So when you hear people saying that nothing is happening in Dominica, I want you to tell them, if nothing is happening, then tell me, why don't I have to pay $60 and $80 to get my child to high school in Roseau every month to a bus driver? So something is happening for you because your child gets to high school, but not just that. You remember the days when you had trouble providing your child with textbooks, providing your child with uniforms. Today, your government assists every child in Bells Glogomye who deserves the assistance, uniforms, books, textbooks, school bags, shoes. And please, I want to say to you, when we offer those programs, you need to take advantage of the programs. But while I say that, importantly, if you are able to buy the books or the shoes, then leave it for somebody who is not well able. But we will ensure that you, the people of Bells, and well, of course, I'm saying that in the presence of your PAL rep, that the people of Bells and Glogomye, every commencement of the school year, we will ensure that we provide your children the opportunity to get uniforms, to get their textbooks, to get whatever it takes to ensure that they will not say, because my mother could not provide, I could not go to school. You remember many of you look back. Many of us are able to look back and we say, I did not go to high school because my mother could not afford. Well, within the Labour Party, we are saying no child, and I repeat, no child should be denied an education because the family cannot afford. If you are in a situation where you cannot afford, check with your parliamentary representative. Give him a call, let us know, and we will address the challenges that you face. And I'm saying this not just as Minister for Education, but as the former principal of the Bells Primary School. I will ensure that the people of Bells benefit from the programs that we offer to the rest of Dominica. But ladies and gentlemen, friends, while all of this is happening, we hear people, a small group of people around Dominica saying, that your government is doing nothing. For saying that Skerrit must go. Well, tonight, I just want to throw a few questions at you. I don't want to be too long, but I just want to throw a few questions at you. If nothing is happening, then tell me, why is it that every individual, every elderly person in Bells, Glogomye, Penrice, who is 70 years and above, and who worked his or her life planting dashings and grapefruits in Bells and did not qualify for a pension, if nothing is happening and Skerrit and the government should go, why are our elderly people getting $300 a month every month? And if nothing is happening and the government should resign and your PAL rep should resign, tell me, why is it that our elderly people who were destitute, some of them, because maybe the children are out of state and they're not bothered about them, or maybe this old man who lives in that house all by himself, that a few years ago no government ever thought of crafting a program where they would pay people to give care to these individuals. If nothing is happening, then tell me, why is it today that our elderly are being given care under the Yes We Care program? And if nothing is happening here in Bells, Glogomye, and in Dominica, then tell me, why is it that today your PAL rep can announce to you that those of you who are involved in small business, that the government can give you a grant to boost your business? Well, tell me, there must be something happening. And if nothing is happening, I heard your PAL rep speaking about the National Employment Program. In fact, Honorable Daru, when I drive from the airport, I'm not sure who is responsible for that, but when I drive from the airport, once you leave the Demosh Bridge and you run up the hill, all along the roadway, on both sides of the road, well planted with flowers and ornamental plants. Well, tell me, if that is a cause for resignation of the Prime Minister and your government, then I say Skerrit must go. Because the NEP is working and Skerrit must go on to ensure that the NEP continues to work. Friends, let's get real. You see, because oftentimes people confuse leatherette for genuine leather. I have a nice pair of shoes on, you know, tonight. But unfortunately, that's leatherette. Your PAL rep has good leather shoes. But mine is leatherette. But most of us, when we buy it, it is written genuine leather. And so we are fooled by leatherette. And after 2 showers, and you walk through the mud, mine will burst at the seams, but his will continue. And I want to say to you, while they say that nothing is happening, I want somebody to tell me here tonight in Bells and Glogomye, what is happening on your village road? Because they said nothing is happening. I was pleasantly surprised and elated to see the kind of work that your PAL rep, Kelva Daru, is doing, not under a United Workers' Party administration, not under Freedom Party administration, but under the Dominica Labour Party. Now tell me, does that qualify your PAL rep to go? I say yes. I say yes, it qualifies him to go on and do all of the in-village roads in Bells, Glogomye, and Penrice. Friends, somebody said, Skerrit must go. Skerrit must go, and the government must resign. But I heard your PAL rep speak to washrooms. Do you remember? Do you remember when those showers would come down in Penrice, Bells, and Glogomye? Oh, my friend remembers that. And you had to leave the house at night and go to your privy, your toilet. Do you remember when you would uncover that, if there was a cover at all? all of those invaders and intruders that you would see that got you scared of using your own toilet? You were terrorized in your own toilet. Friends, do you remember? Can you imagine how embarrassing it is in today's day? Today, in May 2017, for a nice young lady, 17, 18, 25 years, living at home with a mother, and she has on those nice, how do you call them? Weaves. And she has on this, how do you call them? Acrylic. And she has to get up at 9 o'clock in the night, friends, and go to a pit latrine. And in fact, there are some of us who did not have the luxury of having a pit latrine. So we had to go somewhere under a tree. And people are telling me nothing is happening, and so Skerrit must go. Well, I say to them, yes, Skerrit must go. The government must go on to give the people of Bells, Glogomye, and Penrice their modern toilet facilities. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's reason for Skerrit to go on. Go on, Mr. Palrep, and ensure that we totally eradicate pit latrines and that our people can live in decency like we know the people ought to live. Well, and somebody said to me, the government must go. Skerrit must go. I say, yes, Skerrit must go. Yes, the government must resign. But guess what? We will resign from the old PMH hospital, and Skerrit will go on to ensure that we have a state-of-the-art new national hospital to offer health services to you, the people of Bells, Glogomye, and Dominica. So yes, Skerrit must go. Go on to build our hospital. And wait with me one moment. Bells has always been a remote community. You remember the number of times you stood on the roadside flagging down a ride to try to get your sick people to the hospital? You remember the nights that you had in pain because that little child of yours was sick and the nurse could not get to you, and you did not have money to get that child to PMH or maybe to get medical attention out of state. But friends, guess what? The government must resign, and Skerrit must go, because we must resign from the days when our people could not access overseas. When medical health in 0 to 3, and every pregnant mother 35 and below can now access monies to provide overseas care for your children. So yes, we must resign, and Skerrit must go, because we must go on to provide for you, the people of Dominica. Well, friends, I think in summing I can say to you that the time has come for Skerrit to go. The time has come for the government to resign. The time has come when Skerrit shall go on as Prime Minister of Dominica to ensure that the needs of every man, woman, boy, and girl in Bells, Glogomye, and Penrice is met one step at a time. We are drawing closer to the day when we shall be able to say, closer to the time when we will say, labor, fini travail. We take a rest, and we can say, Dominica has reached the point where we will be the pride and joy of the rest of the region. Don't you remember the times? I remember I was in high school when we were ashamed to be called Dominican. Don't you remember, those of you who are old enough, when you would travel out of state, if you ever traveled, and people ask you, where are you from? And you were ashamed to say Dominica. Well, through the visionary leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party, today we are proud to say that we are Dominica. Now, I don't know about them. There are some who don't want to say they are Dominica, but as the minister rightly said, they tell us that agriculture is dead. Well, you, the people of Bells, you, the people of Glogomye, you need to stand tall and tell them we are hard-working farmers and agriculture is alive and well right here in the Bells area. Tell them we are producing to the extent that they can come and buy from us and sell to the markets that we have in Martinique. Yes. Resign. Because we must resign from the day when our people cry and yearn, and we must go forward to the day when all of you good people of Bells, Penrice, and Glogomye can say, yes, thank God that Labour Katwavai Banu, we see the work of the government and we stand in solidarity with our government. So please, remember just this one thing. While we speak of all of this, we must ask ourselves one question. Oh là, you ka prend l'argent pour faire ça. Your parrot spoke of 15 toilets. One toilet, one washroom costs roughly $11,000. So when he gets 20, multiply that by 11,000. So 10 of them would be 110. So 20 of them would be 220. Now, how many of you would be able to find that kind of money? Where do we find that kind of money? Friends, let me say to you, that is what they realize. And the opposition realizes that if Skerrit has to continue and the Labour Party does not resign, then you, the good people of Bells, your standard of living will have been elevated to the extent that when you leave Roseau, you drive on good roads. When you get into your community, you don't have to go under the bush or in a privy any longer. That your mother doesn't have to languish in pain when you go and make $1 on your farm, because we now have the NEP to care, or the Yes We Care to care for her. And that your streets are well taken care of, well manicured, because we have young, conscientious individuals who are working because they understand what it is to be Dominican. Friends, let me say to you, this is the time when we must stand, defend your government, stand in solidarity with your government, and stand in solidarity with the sources of income that we use to do the various social programs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say to you that the time has come when every child, whether at the preschool level, primary, secondary, or tertiary level, when every farmer, when every elderly person must send a clear message to the people who believe that your government is doing nothing, that indeed your government cares for you, you care for your government, and you will stand with your government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Peter Seja. For a moment there, I thought that you were ready for the rally on Sunday. So once again, thank you, Honorable Seja, for your great contribution to this meeting. And at this time, we'll provide you the opportunity to make any comments or any questions that you have to ask, or if you want to just say something that's on your mind. We'll provide you the opportunity to do so. I think we have a mic at the back. So anyone who has a comment to make, or have a question or some concern that you want to raise, or something that you need some clarification on, now is the opportunity to ask your question, to say, if you want to say thank you, you can do that as well. You know, so feel free. Yes, we have a young man here.
Hello. Good evening to my good citizens of Bells. Good evening to my parrot and the brothers who are representing you tonight, who accompanied you. I'm very thankful and very grateful you all are here tonight, which give me the opportunity to bring a concern which really disturbs me. I'm a farmer's son. I was raised here, I was schooled here from an infant. After a certain age, I was schooled by my father's effort and his ability to go out there and work the farm and bring an income to school me, to shelter me, and to clothe me, which he do this diligently to his best of ability. My father is about 74 years right now. At the age of 17, I left as a farmer's son and I went to work on the geese line. From the geese line, I made my way all over the Caribbean and America. But I had one intention. There is one day I have to come back to the farm. I came back here 5 years ago. I spoke to the pirate earlier on. He said he never seen me, but I'm there. I've been watching you for 5 years. I've been seeing you. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now my concern is about my father's farm. When the storm Erica came, it almost covered my father in the house by the bridge. But we all Bells people know it as Monoma Bridge. Everybody know Brother Ralphie? That's my father. I'm Kennedy. Okay. And from since Hurricane Erica, it covered, almost killed my father. Take his shed with all his tools, his knapsacks, everything that he had was covered there. It took me a week to come and shovel out his passport, all his documents that was covered there. After that, he paid a backhoe. To come and take off the dirt so I could make his way at the back of the house so he could clear his windows to take off the dirt out inside the house. Okay, I'm here now to assist my father. He has been complaining from last year that his health is deteriorating and he's losing hope. I am a farmer's son. I was born and raised in Bells. Okay, I was living in Sufria helping a handless man on a farm who had an incident last year over at that car place over there in Canefield. Okay, through my father's complaint, I want to come back to help my father. I came back to help him, but through his hopes, I do not know how much years that he neglected the farm. What he paid for and what he worked hard for is in real big bush. My father have land, he have given me access to all the land. My father have about 30-something acres of land right there in Glomayo. I have taken the opportunity to take a shed and turn it into a house in the garden. And I have given nine hours a day on my farm from January. From January, I've been on the farm. On the farm, and I've get the opportunity to get a man who recommend that, man, you can do better, you can do good if you could get help from the government. From January 27th, I went to the Aid Bank and have my documents right there. My references is my documents. From January 27th, I went to the Aid Bank and asking them some assistance to help me so that I can help my father on the farm as his age have deteriorated his body. Okay. They asked me to do so many things. For 3 months I've been going up and down from Bells to Roseau. They asked me to bring my father. They asked me to bring all type of things. I brought my father with me to the Aid Bank. They said that my father's supposed to bring the man, Minister of Agriculture just repeat earlier on that you don't need no collateral between 1,000 and 15,000. Okay, my collateral was bringing my father presents to approve that I have full access to utilize the land. Up till today, there's no help for me. I have no tools, we have nothing to help us on the farm. And I need the help in order to bring my father hope back and to better myself, my family, and many others who surround me will benefit from it. I have a Huxley license. I went and get a Huxley license from January, and I'm working the land because you boost up my energy to work, to go back to the farm. But the help that I need, it looked like it's a scam to me. Okay, the Prime Minister, I heard, I listened to all town hall meetings. The Prime Minister says that in one town hall meetings that if you have any difficulties with the aid bank, come to him. I did that. I went to, they gave me one chance on the 6th floor. Since that time, February, I can't get back up there. I spoke to Miss Anderson. She gave me someone to assist me. I spoke to her. She accepted me. She appreciated the things I bring in. She tell me, yeah, I make coconut oil, I do farming, and I have goats. We have livestock. Since I come here, I have about 3 goats struggling. I'm trying. All I need for me not to say it's a scam and to continue to spread, because I love that Prime Minister. I love your regime. You know, you're good, and you all have changed Dominica to the best for education, agriculture, and all the other particulars in there. So I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful for you all, brothers. I'm closing and saying, may God bless this government, which is governed and sent by God. Please consider me, Mr. Parrott.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you.
good citizens of Dominica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments? You didn't hear me? Here's the mic. Here's the mic. Yes.
I would like to know when you all are going to start the Stonehill Road, because it is in a very bad condition.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Stand, you can stand. Yeah.
yes, we heard about the paving of the Glogomir Road. We're asking what is being done, whether you have any plans to build the bridges, the 2 bridges in this area, because they are really in a deplorable situation.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Christoph. Let me just respond to the gentleman. Of course, we have to give the gentleman his time to speak. This is what the democracy is about, and I want to thank him for expressing himself. But of course, it is a concern that you raise in reference to your request from the aid bank. I see that you have your letters in your hands. Of course, after the meeting, I'll have a copy of it so I can look at it. And because once the process, I believe, has completed and you meet the requirements, then I think you should receive assistance. So I will discuss it here after the meeting one-on-one. In reference to the Stonehill Road and its commencement, my dear friend Marian, we are now doing the village road. Like the Minister of Agriculture mentioned, we are also in the process of completing some of the feeder roads that we've started. Once these are completed and we go through the budget, then once the budget has been passed, we will look at the commencement of works on the road. But in the interim, we will do some restorative works to some of the worst sections of that road. Because you recall that I've visited your farm several times in that area, and I'm aware of the condition of that road, and we'll do some work on that road as soon as quickly as possible. And Christoph, in reference to the bridges that you mentioned up in the Glogomir area, in fact, we had already received from the Ministry of Public Works a commitment to have these 2 bridges replaced. We had the passage of Erica, and unfortunately, the Bailey bridges that we're going to replace these 2 bridges with, we had to use them for other locations because of the priority at the time. However, it is something that is still on stream, I can tell you, and the Ministry of Public Works has that in its budget for the financial year coming. So, but in the meantime, we have also done some work on the bridges. We have changed the boards a few times to ensure that we have proper boards, and we've also provided some support to the foundation of these bridges so that the farmers can have access in the interim while they have not put in the Bailey bridges there. But it is something that we have not forgotten. Anybody else? We have. Yeah.
I have a drain at the back of my house, and then during Erica, my house had a lot of water. It was flooding, and most of my things in my house had damage. My chairs and my TV stand. And you promised me that you would fix the drain at the back. And up till now, I haven't seen anything. And another thing again, they did a ramp at the front of my garage. Whenever the two ravines are being blocked, the water is coming right inside the garage and filling up the garage.
Yeah.
And then during Erica, water was passing in one door and coming up through the other one. And you asked me to get somebody to estimate. I called Denny and I spoke to him. I think he had called you. And from since then, I haven't get any reply. So I'd like to know what is going on. What you will be able to do for me.
Yeah, I took note of it. Anybody else?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Good night to everybody. With due respect to everyone. I've been trying to make a garden. It's been a while now. But the fact that I haven't got a four-wheel drive transport and the road to where I have my holding is very bad, which is called Stone Hill. I mean, it's a complaint I made already. I spoke to different people who are in charge and everything. And then they said, okay, they're going to do something, But me, I haven't got a job, I not work. It's like a cabbage and thing to make a living. But the fact that the road is so bad, I cannot break the little car I have, which no one going to compensate me when it's been broken. I have to do this and that just to repair it. So then I would really like to see something being done on this Stone Hill Road, where most of the farmers in Bells, that's where most of the farmers, that's where most of them have their holding. Stone Hill, Stone Hill. When you talk about Stone Hill, you talk about the village. You know what I'm talking about? Then you cannot talk about Monkey Hill, you cannot talk about anywhere else, you cannot talk about wet area. We have no farmers there. We're all the farmers. Boy, farmers, when you talk about farmers, you have farmers coming from Stone Hill. So that is a road that is frequently being used. You know?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Good night.
All right. Yes, Teresa.
The Minister for Education say he's going to make build the building for the preschool children, the smaller ones and them. But I would like to know when he's doing the building, if you're going to make a proper place for the children to have their lunch.
Mm.
I don't know.
Parap, I would like to know whether if there's anything you can do about after the cleaners clean the road, like Noreen and them clean the road, and plant the beautiful flowers and people, goats and cows and other things eating it. If there's anything you can do to protect it.
Mm.
Yes, good night, Parap.
Good night.
I would like to know what you're doing for me, especially single unemployed mother, and for my garden and my house.
Okay, Donna. All right, we'll take one more. Yeah.
Okay, I have a small concern. The last time I visited the health center, I was asking the nurse whether I could get my weight because I am hypertensive and most of the time you like to check your weight. And I noticed the health center haven't got a scale where you can get your weight. So I would want to ask you to find out from the Minister of Health whether he could get one for the Bells Health Center.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, in reference to the is one of the roads that we have earmarked for rehabilitation, and that road is a priority, and we begin work on that road. Ilma, in reference to your question of the protection of the flowers, again, I mean, people have a responsibility to tie the animals. You know, so if you have stray goats and stray cows, people have a responsibility to tie the animals when the flowers are planted. Where's Donna? She left? But Donna, I'll speak to your matter. We'll speak one-on-one to your matter. Of course, we've given you some assistance. We know we have some more to give you, but we'll speak to it afterwards. And Susanna, in reference to the health center scale, I will discuss it with the Minister of Health so we can get that rectified. All right? Yes, any other questions or comments? Yes, we have one guy there.
Good evening to everyone.
Yes, good evening.
I must say, I'm in Bells for some time now, a couple of years now, a few years. I must say I want to recommend a few things I've seen in Bells. Like, first of all, let me start with Lorraine and her group on the road, and Labor Katwavai. Let me say, let me be truthful about it. We have to be frank and truthful about anything good that is happening and whatever. The toilet vibes, that's a good vibes. I want my toilet too. And supporting the good vibes in the village, like somebody said, I can't remember who is that. When it is good, you have to say it is good. That gentleman in the corner up there, Danny Esprit, as soon as whatever will happen, the road will block or something will there, that man will be working. That man will be working night time to make sure things get back in order like how it's supposed to be. For example, the last slide we have by so let's do that and let's continue to develop Bells. I'm from Granbury to be actual, but I'm in Bells for almost 20 years. Go check that out. Go check that out. I love the community and I love the people in the village, and I'm helping to develop the village. I think everybody should have that same mind and the same desire to help to develop the village and everything that's in it. And please don't forget, I want my right.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay. All right, I guess we have no more questions and comments. Oh, Idris. Idris on the other side. Oh, wait for the mic, Idris. Yeah. Let's hear your voice.
I just say thank you for that washroom, because I'm going out at night again. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I must say, Idris has done a wonderful job with her washroom, and I think it's a model that other people can use. She had a tremendous job, and she used the money wisely, and it's a model that others can use to emulate moving forward in the community. All right? So Idris, you're welcome. Okay, let me just take the opportunity to really thank each and every one of you tonight this evening. Of course, we will have more meetings. We'll have the opportunities to dialogue more. I will continue to meet with you one-on-one at your homes, on your farms, and also to dialogue with you, to learn from you, to listen to you, because that is what it's about. And these town hall meetings, as we continue them, is really an opportunity to hear from you and how better we can work on your behalf, because this is what you have elected us to do. I also want to thank the pastor and the organizers of the church for allowing us the permission to use the church this evening. And I believe it was the better choice to use the church than the school, because the schools have been too cramped up. So we want to thank the pastor and his committee, his church committee, for giving us the permission to use the church. I also want to thank my comrades and friends, Honorable Johnson Drago and Honorable Peter Seja, for their presence and their support this evening. It means a lot to me this evening. And of course, to the media, Kyrie FM, DBS Radio, and our live broadcast. So to you, the residents of Bells, Glogomé, Pocasset, Penrise, do have a wonderful evening and get home safe. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.